Welcome to Let Me Be Frank, Mike. I'm Mike here with Frank, doing things a little bit differently today, guys. I'm out here in sunny Las Vegas, as you can see behind me. Beautiful sun. Frank's out there in,
In
Washington
Seattle,
still,
and it's snowing like crazy.
dealing
Well,
with
last
that
night it
crappy
did.
weather. But I'm loving it out here. I'm glad to be back. Thanks, John, for filling in for me. You did a great job. You made Frank looked like a schmuck sometimes, and you
Hey,
took a
hey,
couple
hey, hey,
shots at
hey,
me.
hey,
You
hey.
took a couple shots at me, John, and
Yes,
you
he
know,
did. I thought it was kind of fun,
I don't know how
actually.
I feel about that. You said that Vikings pick was a foolish pick, and look at me now. Look
Well,
at
I
me
didn't say it
now.
was not a foolish pick. Matter of fact, I bet it. I said that the money was was making money. All these lines that moved 2 or 3, 4 points, they've been winning. And the line went from 3 to 2.5, but it stayed at 2.5. So, and Minnesota was one of my top picks. Matter of fact, we agreed to agree that it was a top pick. But then when I saw the line start moving, then I started getting a little bit worried. But yes, no, I ended up taking Minnesota because the line only dropped to 2.5. It didn't drop down to one or pick like I figured it. If the money was going to really ride on it, which it did not. But still, it was a close game. But I did have Minnesota. Um, Actually, I hit 3 out of 4 last week. Thank God. Seattle again, my nemesis. I'm living in Seattle, and this team just keeps burning me, burning me, burning me.
It was a great game, though,
Yep.
Frank. You can't complain too much. It was a
No,
great game.
but I had Miami. I even said it was an ugly game. I don't like laying 13 and a half points, but well, I think we won by 15. Woohoo!
Yeah, barely by the skin of your teeth.
And the Eagles, I won by a half. I'm loving the Eagles, by the way.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I don't know how much I love your Eagles pick, but last week wasn't a great week for me. It was busy and everything, and I just want to apologize to our viewers. Didn't get to the comments last week. I was traveling and dealing with a bunch of stuff, dealing with moving, as I'm sure many of you guys have dealt with before. But Frank, let's just jump right into it. How about that? And let's
Sounds
let's
like a
hear what do you
plan.
got. What do you got to kick us off? I don't have much, so let's hear what you got.
Yeah, I'm really not got a lot much myself this week. These guys got these lines pretty good.
Yeah, it seems like the books are tightening up as we get closer and closer to the end of the year, and you really just have to pick your spots. Listen, you don't have to bet every game. You don't even have to bet 3 or 4 games. You can just bet one. I mean, that's what I'm doing this week. There's not much I like on the board. I pondered with a couple different things, but you know, I like one game and that's it. So,
Well, let's start with you. Let's get your first pick. You go first.
okay, I'll go for it first. I like going first.
There you go. 'Cause you
I
number one, right?
I am number
You
one. I'm
number
always
one.
number one. So listen, this is what I like this week. I like the Browns at the Texans, laying 7. I'm getting 7. Don't have to deal with the hook at 7.5. -110. This Houston Texans defense is awful. I mean, we saw it last week against these Dolphins that you had, Frank. Tua threw for a record 297 passing yards in the first half. In the first half, Frank, they scored 31 points in the first half. That's absurd. That's like a college football type game. You don't see that in the NFL very often. So now I get the worst rushing defense in all of the NFL, the Houston Texans, going against probably one of the best running backs, if not the best running back. It's a fight between him and Derrick Henry.
Yeah, he has like over 1,000 yards rushing. I'm still not
Yeah, I
understanding that
know.
Cleveland's record with that, but that's the way it
Well,
goes.
it's because of Jacoby Brissett, Frank, and all that. But so the only thing that really gives me a qualm on this game is that Deshaun Watson's been activated. Is he going to play? Maybe, maybe not. Does he have chemistry with the receivers? Maybe, maybe not. Jacoby Brissett has looked better and better each of the last couple of weeks. I imagine that the Browns probably start Jacoby Brissett this week and then start Deshaun Watson the following week to give him some time to acclimate a little bit. We'll see. But to be honest with you, neither quarterback really matters to me because Deshaun Watson's an elite talent. And this Browns team has weapons on the outside. They have David Njoku, they have Amari Cooper, they have Donovan Peoples-Jones. They're explosive. But that's not the matchup that I'm playing here, Frank. I'm playing that Chubb versus Houston Texans run defense. And Cleveland looked good last week against a really solid Tampa Bay defense, and they came out with a win, and it was impressive. So, I like the Browns this week a lot, and they're the only game that I really like a lot. There was a couple things that I liked a little bit, and I think we'll get to that a little bit later. But yeah, I'm nailing hammering Browns -7.
Okay. I like your Cleveland game. I really
You
do.
are a
You
Cleveland
had
man, Frank.
I'm from Cleveland. Yeah, that's just where I started
If
from.
you didn't like me, I would bring the Cleveland faithful down on your head.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm never going to talk bad about the Browns. That's for sure. I'll never be able to go home again. I mean, if you've ever been in a bar in Cleveland and you talk bad about Cleveland, you'll be out the back door with a black eye,
Real
probably.
quick.
Anyways, let's move on. Let's go. I like the Raiders, and I'm almost getting like you. This is kind of my top pick. And I never
The
liked it.
Raiders, Frank. The Raiders.
I know they suck. Carr. I mean, he's throwing so many damn interceptions. He's what happened to this guy? But I'm going based on that last game. And if you remember the first week when me and you were at the casino watching this game, and it got shaky for me. Herbert, threw for 279 yards, and Carr threw for 295 yards that game. The loss was the 3 interceptions and that takeaway at the end. Raiders pulled in within 24-19. The line was 4.5. And they went for 2 points, and they didn't get it. And that gave San Diego the ball back. They got 3 and out. Carr got onto the 40-yard line, moving the ball with 4 minutes and 6 seconds left. I was sweating. If you remember, I was pacing at this point. And you're going, don't worry, you got this game. You got this. I go, they're on the 40 going in. I said, no, we're in trouble here. And then, of course, I cannot pronounce this guy's name. The linebacker from Chicago came to San Diego.
Khalil Mack.
Yes. And he
Where'd you be without me, Frank?
I don't know. You're right. But he sacked him and took and stole the ball from him, or stripped the ball from him. And that was my game. I won that game by half a point, by the way. So I think this is a comeback game. I think the Raiders are at home. They're getting points. I'm definitely not going to follow up on how great they played against Seattle, because Seattle's run defenses just totally fell apart. It fell apart against Tampa. Tampa found a weakness in Seattle, by the way. And I think Raiders took advantage of that. And I did, and out of my 3 out of my 4 wins, I'm going to keep bragging on this one. With Seattle was my loss. And I had that game because I actually teased that game. I was getting 3.5. I teased it with the Giants, which the Giants won, covered the spread on Thursday. Matter of fact, I turned the game off. It was overtime. I figured 99% of the time it's going to be a field goal game. This guy runs for 85 yards. He kills me.
Never turn the game off, Frank. That's a big mistake. Come on, you know
that's
better
true.
than that.
Yeah, bad voodoo.
Well, listen, Frank.
So I like the
wanna give you-
Raiders because I think the Raiders they're playing the Chargers. They're at home. It's a conference game. I think the Raiders. I said they should have won that first game. I think at home they can definitely beat these guys this week.
Listen, Frank. I want to give you shit on this game. I really, really do, because you know how much I love giving you shit. Okay,
Yes, you
but
do. Yes, this is your job.
I love it more than anything in the world. Even more than my girlfriend sometimes.
Oh
No, I'm
man,
just
that's
kidding.
just cold.
But
that was cold.
hopefully she doesn't watch this. But
Yeah, right.
no, Frank, listen. I actually like this pick. The Chargers are another susceptible defense to the run, and as you saw from that Seattle Seahawks game, who actually have a pretty good run defense. I mean, they shut down Saquon Barkley. They got torn up by James Conner, who's not the best running back in the NFL by any means. Now you have Josh Jacobs coming in, who's been looking like a man on fire. I mean, he just, like you said, he just broke, an 86-yard run straight to the house call, right, in overtime. The guy's impressive. They still have Devontae Adams. They still have Derek Carr. The only thing that gives me pause with this game, because this was a game that I myself was looking at, is, this Raiders defense is sketchy, and Carr has been susceptible a lot this year to throwing picks.
Did it
So
again last week. I think he threw two or three
yeah,
interceptions
right.
against
First
Seattle.
play of the game. First play of the
Yep.
game throws a pick to Seattle. That's that. Um, but listen, I actually like this pick from you. I went to Allegiant Stadium actually the couple days after I got here to watch UNR UNLV, big rivalry game here in Nevada. Um, and you know what? Just UNLV football is nothing big by any means, but man, was that stadium nice, and man, was it rowdy just for that game. So I can only imagine it for a Raiders game. I mean, it's going to be wild in there. People are going to be excited. Definitely after coming off that big win, they have an outside shot to make the playoffs. Not very likely, but they still could sneak in there if a lot of things go right. So they haven't just given up just yet. Um,
Well, I know they're
and
keeping
Josh,
this. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I know they're keeping this line at 2.5. They're keeping it under a field goal.
yeah, and Josh McDaniels is he's fighting for his job right now, whether we like to say it or not. He can't continue to lose these games. Even if they don't make the playoffs, he has got to have an impressive end of the season. Otherwise, he's going to be gone this year. So,
I take it you like the
I like the
Raiders
pick.
game. You might bet in this game too, huh?
I mean, listen, I've looked at it. I'm not sure. I will say that if I have to take a side in this game, it's the Raiders. If one thing that I was really looking at though is I kind of like the over because both of these defenses are suspect, and as we know, both of these offenses
I
are
actually
prone
thought
to
about
turning the
that.
ball over.
I actually thought about
So
that. Well, I'm not a total player, but that is not a bad total. Yes,
yeah,
I
I
agree.
don't. I think the over might be worth a look. But let's get to your next pick, Frank. Tell us what's up.
All right. I am going to make an announcement. I am pro Philadelphia. We talked about in the beginning of the year, seeing how Hurst was going to do, and then go from there. And I'm taking Philly for the Super Bowl. My opinion is just keep hammering them until they can't be hammered anymore. That comeback against that shit piece of team Colts, I swear. How, who are these guys? They lose to bad teams and beat good teams. But Philly came back and beat them. It took a lot to do it, and they beat them in the last few seconds of that game. I actually lost that game to the spread, but Philly looked good against Green Bay, and I don't want to tell people to, because this is a bad mistake about betting football, is getting all hyped on a team from watching a Monday night game or a Sunday night game. It's more than that. Now Philadelphia does have susceptible to the defense or the backfield. They are being thrown on, and it's keeping teams in the game. But they're playing Tennessee at home. Tennessee coming off of a loss against Cincinnati. I think
A
Tennessee was a
competitive
big
loss,
bet.
though, Frank. Competitive loss. I mean, you can't take anything away from them. And they shut down that Cincinnati offense. I mean, you're making it seem like it was a pathetic loss, but it wasn't by any means. If anyone's in performance wasn't
I
that
think
impressive,
Tennessee is a run team. I don't think same as a passing team.
well, I don't think it matters, right? They're going to slow the game down. They're going to rely on their defense. I mean, it's old school football, Frank. It's your day and age type football. You know that type of football better than anyone else.
That's true. It's all on the offensive line and the defensive line where this game will probably be told. But I think in the end, I'm under 6 points. If it is still under 6 points, I got it at 5.5, which I brought it down to 4, because you know me, I'm the juice man.
Always the juice man.
But no, I think Philly, in the end, just like every other game, they're going to have the ball last, and they're going to take it to Tennessee. So I'm taking Philadelphia, Super Bowl team. Nothing going to stop this team. And football is just going their way. So I'm going with Philadelphia.
Listen, Frank, I think you're a little bit too much on the hype train. I like Philadelphia. We talked about it from the very beginning. I like Philadelphia a lot. But here's the thing, Frank. Listen, this team against that Packers offense did not look good. I mean, they let them score all over them. A Packers offense that couldn't get anything going against the Jets, against the Redskins, against all these teams that,
But what
you know,
happened in the fourth quarter when the game came down to who had to win?
okay, I agree that the Eagles had the win, but that doesn't take away that their performance to me was not very impressive. Once again,
Watch
their
them in the
offense
fourth
was,
quarter of this game, and we'll talk.
their offense was good, Frank. But I mean, it was if
They
you know
showed
this
that defense showed up when it counted in the fourth quarter, and it
Frank,
will show up against Tennessee. They're at
this
home.
tennis this Tennessee team is going to slow the game down. They're going to beat you up. They're going to take you down. Derrick Henry's going to beat you up all over the field. I mean,
Do I
he's going to
smell?
catch
Do I
the ball
smell?
on
Do I smell a Big Mac bet here?
a Big Mac bet. Frank, I don't know
Actually,
about
now
that.
that you're in the big time now in Las Vegas, and styling up in those really nice looking casinos and going to those beautiful sport books and hanging out, checking out. Well, I better not say that because your girlfriend, if she watches this, we're in trouble. Anyways, you you hanging out in that nice place, and so I. If you have not checked out the Bellagio, and I hate doing ads for Bellagio.
Frank, what do I look like to you? Do I look like an amateur to you that I haven't checked out the Bellagio?
No, I meant checked out the Bellagio buffet. It
I
started
stand
out at-
corrected. Do I look like an amateur to you?
Did you ever eat at that buffet?
Of course, I've eaten at that buffet, Frank.
It's the
Come
best.
on
It's the
now.
best food in town. Now
It
it's
is
up to
delicious.
50
It's a
some
little-
dollars now.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Started
it's a
out
little
at
bit on the
35
pricey
back
side.
in the day. My friend Carl from Cleveland, when he comes to Vegas, we always go there, and we have.
Oh God, here Frank goes with the old timey stories.
Oh man, it's just a great place to eat. So, anyways, my point is, I think we bet this game because I got that much faith in Philadelphia, as much faith as you have in Tennessee.
I'm not
do I
saying
give you
that I
that 4
think
points?
Tennessee. I'm not saying that. No, I'm not giving you 4 points.
I
don't
mean,
think that
minus
Tennessee.
4.
I don't think that Tennessee, comes out here and beats them outright. I'm just saying that I think that you have a little bit too much hope in this Philly team. Listen, these spreads are inflated. They're playing primetime games.
Oh, without
They're
a
the
doubt,
best record in
inflated.
football. These spreads are becoming inflated, Frank. I mean, you have to realize that.
When do you see football at the highest line on this board is what? Dallas -9, and it went to 9.5.
No, now it's up to 11.
Is
Here,
it up to
at
11? I
least.
haven't because I don't like Dallas this week. I don't trust Colts. I don't know what planet that team is on. To be honest with you.
Yeah,
really
I got to
hate
see
that
them
team.
play another week as well. I mean, they looked good the last time they played, but we'll see. I need to see them. I mean, they
All
looked.
right, I'll
they didn't
take
look
you
that
off
great
the hook
Monday
at
night,
making
so.
a bet against on a buffet because I'm coming out there for the Super Bowl.
Okay, let's make a bet on the buffet. You give me 7 points with the Titans. I'll take it every day of the week.
7. The line's 5.5. Which is 7. I said
Yeah,
I'll
give
give
me
you 4.
7.
I'll give you 4.
What the heck, Frank?
All right, enough negotiating. Let's move on to the next one. I'm just going to stick with the Raiders and Philly this week. That's going to be my 2
Oh,
picks.
okay. You took one of your bets off the board,
I'm
huh?
taking Kansas off the board.
You didn't want me to pressure you on that one.
No, it's not the pressure. I'm looking at it and I'm having second thoughts. I mean,
You only let
I
me
love
give
the
you shit
over.
on one
What's
game.
the over in this game? Do you have the over in front of you? I don't have.
I don't have the over in front of me right now.
I do like. I think this is going to be the shootout at the OK Corral, and but my God, Mahomes and how come this tight end for Kansas? What's his again? Names with me. He's always open. How is this guy always open?
I mean, he's open in those short yardage situations. I mean, listen, he's
Well,
a
I think
tall.
I think he comes back to the play. I think Mahomes is running around the backfield, and he sees he's okay.
I mean, they're just on the same page, Frank. You know,
just
they're like the exact
Brady
opposite of
was
me and
with
you.
his
Yeah.
tight end. So, all right. So yeah, I'm just gonna take Kansas off the board. Even though I still like Kansas, I'll probably tease Kansas with somebody somewhere down along this line. But
Well, let me.
we'll have more picks on the comments Saturday. So we'll go from
Yeah,
there.
we probably will have more picks in the comments. I mean, I might just be sticking with the Browns. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I do not like this board. But let me ask you one quick question, Frank, before we get to our Dakota Dog of the Week and the teaser of the week.
Sure.
Let me ask you a quick question. What do you think of that Thursday night football game? Bills at the Patriots. Bills laying 4. Does that?
Wow.
I mean, I think
you know
that-
what. You want my opinion?
I'm-
I like New
I
England.
kind of want-
I like Belichick and New England, and the defense.
really.
I think. What are we getting? 5.5. What's the line on this? I lost the line on this too.
It's 4. It's 4 now.
It's 4.
Buffalo
So it
minus
went
4.
down.
Yeah.
It went down. So they are betting New England.
Yes.
Wow. Uh,
I, I mean, listen, let me give you my take on it real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
I think this might be a spot, Frank, to I thought about it and I couldn't get myself to pull the trigger to be taking the Bills. I know everyone's on,
Scary thought
New
when that
England.
number starts going the other way.
I know everyone's on New England.
Yep.
But
And I'm hoping I'm not following that train like you're talking about.
you know how I love those situational spots, Frank. You
This
know
is
how
a
I love them.
situational spot. It is because everybody's
I mean,
gonna like
listen,
New England at home. They're looking good. Buffalo has just. I mean, you still got Josh Allen. You still got the best receiver probably in
I mean,
football with.
I understand that the Bills haven't looked the greatest the last couple of games, but this is a very big game for them. They are not safe in the playoff race. If they lose this game, Frank, we could be looking at an AFC playoff picture with the Bills not in it. So, I just kind of like the Bills here. I think there's going to be a sense of urgency. I think Sean McDermott's going to get them up, and I think that Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen are going to come through. I just wanted to hear your opinion on it because I knew you were going to be all over the Patriots, and I just think you're wrong
they're
once
at
again.
home,
But that's nothing new.
But
for
you know what?
Frank. It's nothing new.
Before I told you I was in the beginning of the season I was a Mac Jones fan, and you said no, I don't like this guy, and I says yeah, no, I like Mac Jones. I liked him last year, and I like him this year.
Oh my God, Mac Jones has been a fucking joke all year, Frank, except for last week. Somehow, on God's good great earth.
Boy, did I touch a nerve there, didn't I, folks?
He throws for some ridiculous amount of yards, and now you're sitting here trying to jump on the Mac Jones train saying he's
my. Okay, stop. Enough.
The greatest thing since sliced bread.
Back off, brother.
Jeez Louise, Mac Jones.
Boy, did I
Mac
get you
Jones.
going there.
Listen, my boy Kirk Cousins, the guy that you hate, the Michigan State grad, whooped up on your Mac Jones last week, and you bet on him. So much for liking Mac Jones.
Okay. I'm glad you didn't bring up that Michigan-Ohio State game.
Oh,
did I strike up another nerve here?
I didn't want to.
Oh, man, I didn't want to eat. I can't believe I brought it up because you just totally spaced it.
Hail to those valiant victors.
I tell you what. You know what? Putting that flag up in Ohio State, and then the coach goes online, Twitter, and says, you know what? Ohio State's been trashing us for the last 5 years. I think we deserve to put the flag up there. Oh, man, I tell you what, if he walked over that border right now, they'd probably tar and feather him just for saying that he approved that flag being hung up. But anyways, we got next year coming. Well, personally, in that Ohio State game, I think he was outcoached,
outsmarted,
outcoached. I totally believe he was outcoached. I mean, they were expecting the run, and they did, and he passed all over them. Did you know that one play for a touchdown? There was no safety.
I know.
No safety. How do you have no safety in a big game like this? I know you're expecting the run, and this guy.
Oh, look, I hit a chord now.
What's that?
I said I hit a chord now with you. You're getting all red. You're getting frustrated.
Arr, matey. All right. I'm going to go over a couple games real quick with you because we're going to wrap this up real soon here. Jacksonville, Detroit. I'm surprised I haven't heard nothing from you on this Detroit-Jacksonville game.
Oh, my gosh, Frank. This was another game I was looking at. This was so hard for me. Listen, we all know I'm a Detroit fan, okay? It's been a brutal whole lifetime for me, okay? But this Jacksonville team somehow pulled out that game against Baltimore, and I'm a little bit nervous that they might have some momentum. I get it, they were at home, and to be honest with you, if anyone watched the game, Baltimore might as well have just thrown that game away from how they played. Turnovers on downs, a bunch of different things. But
yep, I agree.
Here's the thing, Frank. I just can't pull the trigger just yet. And, this line's been moving all over. It opened Detroit -1, went to Jacksonville -1, then Detroit -1.5, and now Jacksonville -1. So it's all over. I need to do a little bit more research. I need to see, if there's any injury problems because the Lions did suffer a couple injuries.
We'll check it out on our comments, see if we end up playing.
Please check it out on our comments.
I have Jacksonville +7.5, so I'm thinking 1.5 is a good spread here. But I'm going to do one more game, Minnesota Jets, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
Okay, Frank, listen, I like this guy, Mike White, a lot, but I can't bet this game. I can't touch it with a 10-foot pole because I have to see him again. That Bears secondary, it's suspect. It's nothing good. It's their defense is downright putrid, you know? They're almost as bad as your hair, Frank. That's why you wear the hat.
I
I
wear this
mean,
hat
listen.
because this is the coolest hat on earth.
Okay,
That's
Frank.
why I wear this.
Okay, whatever you say. But listen, honestly, Frank, I have to see Mike White play another game. I like the guy. He looked better than Zach Wilson. We all know, if you guys watch the podcast, I hate Zach Wilson. But I have to see another game from Mike White to see if he's the real deal against. And Minnesota's defense isn't any world beaters. I mean, we saw it. Mac Jones threw all over him. But I want to see at least one more game before I start betting these Jets or betting against these Jets.
Jets. Okay, I have Minnesota minus 4.5. The line is 3. I think the line's still 3. I'm not sure if it moved or anything.
Okay, Frank. Well, let's get to our Dakota Dog of the Week
All right,
and
go for it.
our teaser of the week. So, Dakota Dog of the Week, ladies and gentlemen, we have, for me, Raiders money line. Listen, I already told Frank he had to pick the one game that I couldn't give him shit on. Had to do it. He knew it. He knew it, that bastard. But I like the Raiders money line. We already went over it. And then Frank is going with Miami money line, a little bit of a contrarian play against the 49ers. You want to touch a little bit on that, Frank?
Just I have 49ers minus 2.5. I think you said it lines up to 4. This is a defensive game against an offensive team, and you know I've been saying all year I'm a defensive kind of guy. But I am not touching 49ers no more until the playoffs because I have no clue what planet this team is on. 1 week now, their defense has definitely improved over the last 4 or 5 weeks. They've gotten better and better and better. They are at home. And I think people are, again, the public is probably going to bang this game. Again, it's already moved from minus 4.5. What did the line open up at?
I think it opened at 4.5, and then it went down to 3.5, and now it's back at 4.
Back and forth. It's going back and forth. Anyways, I like Miami. I think the offense is going to take care of the defense on this team. I think they come out ahead. Miami's just playing good. They're on top of their game all the way around.
I'm just surprised, Frank, that you're going, taking the offensive side in an offensive versus defensive matchup.
I know, and defensive matchup at home, but it's been that kind of a year.
I know it has been a crazy year, and that, ladies and gentlemen, plays plus 365 if you're playing at FanDuel Sportsbook, which is what Frank's playing at. I'm at the bigger books, the big-time books, because I'm a big-time guy. But then let's move on to the teaser of the week.
Big-time guy.
I'm going with Titans, Frank. Titans against your Eagles.
Well, you're playing on a teaser, so you're getting 11.5. All right.
Yeah, I know what
this game's going. This game's going to the fourth quarter, and I'm going to win by 14.
Oh my gosh, you're
14.
Frank, I know that weed is legal in Washington, but how much have you been smoking this morning?
14 points. You heard it here.
Okay, whatever you say. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to those comments. Frank and I might have a buffet bet.
There we go.
Because we're out of crappy Washington where we can make buffet bets now and not Big Mac bets. So I've got Titans plus 11.5. Frank's got Giants plus 7.5. I like that play, Frank, as well. I mean, getting 6 points, how can you not like basically any play on the board? But a divisional game, Giants at home, you got to like it. You got to
Don't like it straight up, but I like it. I like it teaser. All right.
They have a little bit of a bye. But anyway, I mean, listen, Frank, it was a good show. It's good to be back. We're doing remote. We're changing things up. It's a little bit different, but I'm happy to be back. And thank you again to John for filling in for me.
Definitely thank you, John, because I didn't know how this thing was going to get set up, but he set it up perfect. Totally amazing. Totally amazing. And if you guys if anybody's watching us from Seattle, check out his store at the Consortium. He's really got a great setup here. He's got all the soccer games on and has people coming in to watch them. He's doing it right. So
yeah, it's an awesome space. But
from Seattle, check out the Consortium with John here. All right, my friend, let's wrap this up. We gotta go.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great show. I'm glad to be back. Thank you, everyone, and let's cash some tickets.
Let's cash some tickets. Let's make some money.